Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' UP demonstrator. I was ready to post this card on one of my regular posts on a Monday or a Friday, and I thought I might get a few questions about the hanging pot holders here. So I just thought I'd kind of show you this bundle, and it is the Plentiful Plants that comes with the Perfect Plants dies. Look at those awesome dies there. You've got these plants and these pots and these, oh, they're so pretty, and a really pretty font in the sentiments here. So here on this card, I am going to have the measurements underneath the YouTube description and all the products I used on here. I am using the Bloom Where You're Planted paper. This designer series paper is so beautiful. It's just got some pretty greens in here, some garden green, the new evening evergreen, and some Cajun Craze and cinnamon cider and gray granite. Just look how pretty those are. And then you've got a lovely array of different patterns over here. Love this brick here that I used. And so that beautiful Bloom Where You're Planted paper also has images here on the designer series paper that you can cut out with the actual dies. So those are pretty cool there. Okay, so on this card, you'll see that it has a macrame hanging plant holder. Now, I wanted to have it go a little further, and you easily could use our linen thread. Our linen thread is awesome. It's one of my favorite embellishments. But I wanted to actually have it seamlessly go the whole way in the crumb cake that I designed it in here. So I'm going to show you how I made these here. I bet you guys are already seeing it. I had some other scraps, and so I just cut out the middle portion here of the macrame plant holder, and then I just trimmed it out a little bit. I started here at the top, and I knew it was going to go off the top there, so I could just clip it right there at the top. And then I just took right down there, there's two like little circle bulb like down there. And then I was able to take and put two of these together to make this long one here. The short one, I just took and put the macrame plant holder there, and then I just put this little round part in through the circle, or actually I might have stuck it in this way. I stuck the smaller edge in. No, I actually did put that bulby end in, because then it kind of filled up the circle. So I just put it in there, and then I put a little bit of glue on the back there, and as you can see, I just glued it together, and then it actually looks like it's part of that macrame, so you can make it any length you want. So as you can see on this bigger one, I'm just going to use the same one here. This bigger one, I took and I just rounded off that middle end part. Oop, went flying on me there. And then I just cut off the top there, because it was going to go off the top of my paper. And then I just took these two pieces and I glued those together, so it kind of made this little part here that looks like it's part of the knot of the macrame. And then I once again stuck that behind there, and you can see I made a long plant holder. So super easy to do. Just like I said, cut out an extra portion of this and then just trim it off. And you've got two pieces here, and I did one here, so you can have them hanging at different lengths. So that was something cute there. And like I said, I'll have the measurements for these here. I think you can figure out the two designer series papers. And I really liked putting the Cajun Craze on here against the cinnamon cider. And then I just used the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder to emboss the die cuts there, and just use Mossy Meadow there. But that's a cute way to be able to make your macrame go a little longer. Now we're actually going to make a card live. Okay, so we've got all the pieces here, but I wanted to show you, this is a really pretty paper here. This is that gray granite brick, and it has, oh, this is one of those papers you hate to use either side because they're both so beautiful. So that's gray granite. So I decided to just mix it up with it's just a neutral there with the white and the gray. And so I wanted to show you how I took and altered yet another time this hanging pot holder, this macrame holder. And all I did is snip off these portions there and right here, and then I just snipped right there, trying to make them about the same on each side. I remember when I went through the macrame phase, when I was probably 5th grade, my mom was bringing me home that jute you know, that big burlappy jute back. I was making like 3 and 4 of them like every night. All the neighbors had them hanging on their porch. So there you go. You have a new hanging folder there. So let's just go ahead and put this together, and then I'm going to show you all the pieces for this card. Okay, so I thought it would be great to put a white border in between it. It really makes that brick pop off. I mean, the dark against that, but this white really has the effect of making the brick stand out a little bit more. Oh, I love this, the greens in this. It was a real toss-up whether to use this brick, but I love this brick. So we're just gonna put this right on the white and just have a nice 1/8 inch border. All the measurements for these cards and all the products I used in the YouTube description underneath the video. And also I have in that description, visit my blog here, press that link. It takes you right over to cindyleeBdesigns.com, and you can find additional photos, little anecdotes I might share with you. So we're just gonna put this Whisper White. Now this Whisper White is 5 1/4 by 4, and it's going on my card base, and my card base was 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and then I scored it at 4 1/4, the halfway mark of the 8 1/2. I'm going to make it landscape, and these are called A2 sized cards. So if you hear in the crafting circles speaking a different language, A2, A7, A4, A5, the Stampin' UP envelopes are A2 sized, a medium envelope, and that's a 1/2 sheet of cardstock. So there we go. You can see how that white just really made a pop there. Okay, so the next thing I thought I needed was something on the bottom to ground the plants I'm going to do. Oh, that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to make this 3 3/4, because since this is 5 1/4 and this is 4, the white, this is 5 by 3 3/4, but I forgot to put this on, so we're just gonna have to cut it. Normally I like to cut it before, so I can have it a perfect cut, but if I'm gonna trust myself that I can get it to 3 3/4 there. Oh no, I almost made a mistake, it's 5. The other card was a portrait card. This is a landscape. So there we go. Actually, I think I'm gonna take it from the other side because it's already embossed. It sometimes can catch on your trimmer. There we go. If you notice, I have a piece of white paper underneath my numbers here on my ruler. It just helps me to be able to see those numbers there. Okay, so let's I'm gonna use some glue to put down this piece of gray granite here. So this gray granite has the embossing on it with the Tasteful Textiles as well. So when you have that, the glue just seems to do a little bit better adhering because it can get down into the embossing. So we're just have a little bit of wiggle room here with glue, and I'm gonna get it right at the edge so I don't see any of the brick showing, and that just grounds the card. Okay, so I decided to use 2 greens here, of course inspired by the green on the other side of here, and the Shaded Spruce and the Just Jade. And then I just realized this has been through the ringer here. So now we're just going to build up our plant here. So I'm gonna have one of the plants hanging using our new hanging, let me get out my silicone craft mat so I don't get glue everywhere. And I'm gonna put some glue on the part that's going to be on the pot. Okay, and then I can go ahead and put that on the pot, and I'm just putting that right down along the edge of the pot. So there we go. And then we need some foliage in there. I decided to use this bigger image here, and look how it's perfectly die cut from the, and actually I'm going to use my tape adhesive on that because it'll be really quick. So we just put some greenery coming out of there. And because this is a shorter card here, since this card is only 5, and we don't have to worry about making it go up any further there. So I think I'm just going to put some, no, I'm not going to use glue, because you know how you come back a little bit later and you see something crooked. I cannot pull that off with glue. So I'm going to put that hanging pot just right up against the white. And then we have a pretty contrasting with that green. You have the Just Jade. You okay down there, Jim? Okay. Yes, I told Jim as he was going to bed I was making a video. Well, he doesn't remember. Short-term memory there, come out coughing up a storm. Okay, so I forgot to put this little strip of white here right along the gray granite there. Also, this is a nice trick to really just when you're making a card and it's just missing something. Usually if you layer something or you break up some of the layers with a piece of paper, it just seems to finish off the card. That's usually my trick in doing. And I got a little bit of glue on there, so I'm gonna get my adhesive remover there, but it might actually be too soon to remove that. Okay, so we've got one plant on there now. Now this other neat die here, I want to show you this die. This die here, it makes this little plant holder too. It's one of those ones that sits down onto the ground. And what I did with that one is it has this little slit in it. I'm assuming that that's because this can fit in there like that. The pot can fit in there. I've seen people doing it this way. I thought maybe it's this way. I'm not sure. So we're going to put that also. Oh, guys, we have to put some foliage on that one. So I used the shaded spruce and I put it on this one. Put it down right about there. And then I took this cute little decorative pot here and I put, as you notice, I did all my pots in the Just Jade, and then I did the foliage in the shaded spruce. They're just enough to give a hint of difference there, and then we're just going to put some adhesive there, and we're just going to put that right down there, and that's going to hold down that. So you've got some fun foliage there, and then I made a cute little tag here with, now should we pop that one up? Let's see what it looks like popped up. Maybe we'll just pop it up. And I use the Just Jade for that sentiment. And that way when you put the for a dear friend, it could be actually any occasion. It could be thank you, birthday, get well, thinking of you. Let's see if that's straight. I think I might have to look at it this way so I can see if it's straight. So I'm just going to pop that right above the foliage. Actually, is it foliage when it's in a plant? I always think of it as trees, the canopy of trees. But isn't that cute? You could decorate it up with a couple little pearls if you want. But I kind of like just that you know, subdued look with the gray granite and then just adding the couple greens in here. But I could imagine this would be really great if you added in some blues or just a pop of another color. But I wanted to show you too how you can make that little pennant end on your, oh golly, here it is. Here's the white that goes in the inside. But hey, why don't we stamp something on the inside here? So we've got some stamps mounted over here. I think we're just going to use this pot right here. Now we're going to do that in Just Jade. So open up that ink pad. And we're going to put that right over here. And remember, your inks will dry later. So when you first put that down, you think, oh gosh, that looks like shaded spruce, but it's actually Just Jade. And it dries to a beautiful shade. Now, it's really going to be kind of crazy because, like I said, this is going to almost look like they're the same color when I put it on here because they haven't dried yet. Actually, maybe I'll put, oop. You knew what was about ready to happen. Were you yelling at me, Cindy, you're going to get it all over your... I think I might... No, I think I'll just keep it right there in the middle. And just a little bit of it will go off the card. There we go. So we have a little bit of decoration for the inside. And then we're going to put that in here. And I don't see how that's already... drying so quickly, but just to be safe, I'm going to put my craft mat out there, put a little bit of adhesive in those corners so we don't get any ridges on the inside when you go to move that ink pad out of the way so it does not get in onto the card like my other video. So there we go. We have our decorating on the inside and the outside. And then, oh, I wanted to show you just how you can make that cute little pennant end there. We used to have a hexagon punch, and you can use your scissors, you could use the end of a square punch, but the tailored tag punch, which is one we have now, you just pop the end in. You could do it here, and you have a pennant end there. You could also use one of these corners too. You can go here and you can use that corner. So depending on where you want to put it, where it works for your paper, you just use one of these angled edges and it makes a cute little pennant on the end there. If you don't have a die, and sometimes you measure out just to fit exactly your sentiment and then you just want to put something. And actually this one's off a little bit here, but it actually looks pretty cool there, I think, even though it's not perfect. I'm really on this kick of things do not have to be perfect because I am having a trouble just keeping things straight lately. There we go. So there's a pretty one. And like I said, this video was pretty much just to show you how you can change up this macrame holder here, and just by cutting off the little pieces off of the white one and creating a different one, and to show this really cool die here, how you can slide that pot into there, and also how you can extend your hangers on your macrame by just adjusting your, by cutting a few extra with scraps. I mean, I didn't cut a whole nother one, and you can just pop those into that hole there. You can either do it this way and then hang it this way, but you can extend them as far and long as you want them to be. So that's kind of some cute little thing you can do with that. Plentiful Plants, and the Perfect Plants die. So a lot of fun things you can do with that. And this bloom where you're planted paper is just super gorgeous. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.